Hi all, in this video we will learn about cyber kill chain. The cyber kill chain is a framework that has 7 stages that represents stages of cyber attack. It is a process that says how a malware or cyber attack enter into the system to damage. The 7 stages of cyber kill chain are reconnaissance, weaponization, delivery, exploitation, installation, command and control, actions on objectives. We'll see each phase in detail. The first phase, reconnaissance. You can also call it as observation stage. In this phase, the attackers identifies the targets, gathers some information on the target. He gathers this information by visiting their websites, viewing their social media activity, understands target network, finds vulnerability or weakness that can compromise, etc. There are two types in reconnaissance. First one is active reconnaissance. The attacker will perform port scan so as to know open ports and their services. The second type is passive reconnaissance. It uses indirect methods to get information of target systems or networks. Now, we will move on to the second phase, that is weaponization. In this phase, the attacker sends a malicious payload by using an exploit and sends that to user. After knowing the vulnerabilities, the attacker develops a cyber weapon like payloads or malwares to cause damage to user. The first two phases, that is reconnaissance and weaponization, happens at attacker's site where the user is not involved. After weaponization, the third phase is delivery. Now that the attacker is ready with payload or a malware, he will send this payload or malware to the user by emails, social media accounts, file transferring, etc. He acts like an intruder and sends a well-crafted spear phishing link like Word documents or PDF documents, attachments to the employees in an organization. The attached documents contain some malicious code or payloads. The next stage is exploitation. This is the phase where the actual exploitation starts. Once the attacker creates a payload and delivers it to the user, if the user clicks on those malicious payload or malware, that malware code will be executed on the target system or network. The attackers take advantage of the vulnerabilities that they discovered in reconnaissance phase, where they may even get super user access of targeted system or network. Now, we will move on to the fifth phase, that is installation. Once the exploitation of vulnerability is successful, the malware will be installed on the target systems. A backdoor is created while installing a malware on the targeted systems or network. The malicious code or payload will install the malware to do some malicious activity without knowledge of the user. This malicious program runs on the targeted system. Now we will move on to the sixth phase, that is command and control. Once the malware code is installed, the attacker will get access over the system or the network. This may take many months. The attacker gets remote access of the system, so the attacker gets all the command and control of the user's system. The last phase in this cyber kill chain framework is actions on objectives. After taking the command and control of the target system, the attacker will go under step-by-step process to achieve his goals or objectives. The attacker compromises the system, takes user credentials, etc. This process takes months to get all access. The cyber kill chain is a framework that tells how an attacker tries to compromise the system or the network. Now we will see what are the techniques and tactics an attacker uses. In the reconnaissance phase, the attacker uses internet, social engineering, email harvesting techniques to gather the information. This phase uses tools like NSLOOKUP, traceroute, ping, whois, Google, email, social media like Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, etc. The tools like whois, Google, Shodan, etc. will come under passive reconnaissance, and Nmap, port scanning, banner grabbing, vulnerability scanners will come under active reconnaissance. So this phase is also known as footprinting. The second phase is weaponization. And the attacker creates a payload to exploit with backdoor. The tools like Metasploit, SQLmap, burpsuit, social engineering tools, ExploitDB, etc. are used. The third phase is delivery. The attacker delivers the payloads or malware to the targeted users. The attackers use malicious website links, social media, email, USB, etc. so as to send the payloads to the users. The fourth phase is exploitation. The malware code begins the execution process on the targeted system. The exploitation can be done by SQL injection, malware, buffer overflow, JavaScripts that can hijack, etc. The fifth phase is installation. The malware installs a backdoor where the attacker can access it remotely. The main aim is to gain access over the system that is targeted. The attacker uses some offensive tools like MeterPitter, RAT, remote access tools, DLL hijacking, using PowerShell commands, etc. The sixth phase is command and control. The attacker gets full control of the system. The attacker acts like admin and access the system or network. The seventh phase is actions on objectives. The attacker sets some goals or objectives. The attacker steals the data, demands ransom, corrupts the system, etc. So, first, the attacker identifies the target, then prepares cyber weapon to attack, and next, the attacker will deliver that payload to the user. Next, the main step is to exploit. The attacker finds some security gaps to exploit. After exploiting, the attacker implements a backdoor. Next, the attacker will get all command and control of the targeted system or a network. So finally, the attacker will achieve his goal. So this is how the cyber kill chain works. The cyber kill chain framework not only explains the cyber attack part, but provides useful insights to protect from being attacked. To detect advanced persistent threats, that is APT, this framework will be helpful to identify the attacks and perform step-by-step analysis. So this is about the cyber kill chain framework. Thank you. We'll see you in the next video.
For more videos, please download our application Cyber Future Tech from Google Play Store.